Hello, hello, my wonderful friends. Today is March 12th, 2025. It's a Wednesday, so that means it's time for another episode of Rav'n's Astro Forecast. As always, thank you for your support. Thank you for joining me. It means the world. So today I want to talk about two very important celestial events. The first of which is a full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo. And that is going to kick off a series of full moon lunar eclipses that'll fall in Virgo, then Pisces, then Virgo, I believe. The last time that this happened was back in 2006 or 2007. So maybe start thinking back to that time and where you were at and what came up during that time. The other event that I'd like to talk about is the fact that Mercury is going retrograde again. Said it 1,000 times. Don't blame Mercury for your problems, people. Mercury is in retrograde more often than not. So we'll talk a little bit about retrogrades because the last time that I tried to explain that well, it was kind of wonky. Anywho, going back to the eclipse in Virgo. This will be at like 21 degrees Virgo, if you understand what that means. And I do want to talk about degrees and what it means when I'm referencing that, because it is very important to your birth chart and very important to mapping transits and knowing exactly when the stars are going to affect you, right? It's a really powerful tool in that regard. So when it comes to Virgo and full moons, right? I've said it before, I'll say it again. New moons are about manifestation and bringing things in, whereas full moons are about releasing. Now, you can manifest changes in your life regardless, right? So both of them are about manifesting, but with a full moon, it's about what are you letting go of? What are you trying to, what's blocking you? And when it comes to Virgo, some of the negative traits of Virgo, perfectionism, right? Anxiety, right? Is there anything that is kind of driving you crazy, maybe making you feel a little neurotic, say? Sometimes it could be being cold or aloof or distant. I know I can be a little guilty of that. Maybe it's martyrdom. Maybe you're stretching yourself too thin and trying to be there for everybody when you should actually just be putting up better boundaries. So those are some things that are in the Virgo house of attributes and behaviors that you might want to think about letting go of. What patterns aren't serving you anymore in your life. That's what you want to think about during this eclipse season, because it's going to be a very powerful time to let some things go. And hopefully you're in your hero's journey and on a point where you're feeling more healed and feeling like, I can let go of some of those things that have been holding me back in the past. That's my prayer for you. Also, let's move on to Mercury. Mercury is going to be going retrograde on March 15th. Now, last time I was on my show, I did this weird hand thing, and I didn't really explain anything. So, anywho, no planet moves backwards at any time. Basically, it's our vantage point and our focal point in the zodiac, right? So, the only difference between an astronomer and an astrologer is the focal point of where we're looking at the stars, right? Both scientists look at the stars and their movements, right? The thing with an astronomer is that your focal point is from the sun out, or your vantage point is from the sun out. And with astrology, it's from the earth out. The stars are revolving around us. We're the most important body in the zodiac when it comes to astrology. So that's the difference, right? So when a planet is starting to make its journey behind the sun, so let's say here's the sun, here's Earth, and here's Mercury, like really close, right? And I'll get it out of my face. But yeah, Mercury's really close to the sun. Here it goes behind the sun, and then it peeks back out. But since we're going like this, we see that planet here, and then it feels like it's going reverse mode. So anywho, so that's a little bit of how the retrogrades work. And then this is going to be with 9 degrees of Mercury. Darn it, I'm running out of time already. Degrees are basically days of the calendar. So when you look at the zodiac, it's basically a calendar, starting with Aries, and then there's 30 degrees of Aries, then there's 30 degrees of Aquarius, then there's 30 degrees of Pisces, so on and so forth until the zodiac is complete. So when I'm mentioning degrees, it would be like almost like somebody being born 9 days out of Aries would be would be basically having a conjunction to this Mercury, right? Now, 9 days out of Aries would not be April 9th, because Aries starts around March 30th or March 21st or whatever day that is that year. So that's how degrees work. And I'm just going to say this, we're going to have Venus, Mercury, both going retrograde in Aries. This is a time of action. This is a time of being bold. This is a time of making decisions. But with both planets being retrograde, this is also a time to be mindful, to review, to maybe take it easy in terms of decisions and things like that, because this is kind of a gathering time, if you will, in terms of information, in terms of input, in terms of feelings, all of those things, what's coming at you, because those things are going to be right back up for review once the planets go to direct. Anywho, that's my 5 minutes. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Rav'n Moon.